here we go, loaded up. You may notice we have a different tow vehicle. Thanks to Dad, let me borrow his truck. The Tahoe met its early demise in a fatal accident not too long ago. Thankfully, I'm okay. I do have some bruised ribs, so if you see me wincing or acting weird or gingerly in the boat during practice this week, that is why. But we're kicking things off. Getting ready to head to Alexandria, Minnesota, the Homme Deu Chain, so we can start practice tomorrow for the 2022 Minnesota Bass Nation Tournament Champions. One of the tournaments that I look forward to most every year, most excited about, and see if we can close the deal this time. Forgot to check in on the road, but we got here safe and sound. Here's our VRBO for the week. Pretty excited, right on Lake Carlos. You'll see that a little bit later. Made a pit stop. Got some goodies from Omnia on the way up. Swung in, ordered ahead, swung in, they had it ready. We were on the road, beat some traffic, and now it's time to get moved in, maybe tie up a few rods tonight, and get ready for practice in the morning, which you will see next. Just spend a little time here before dark, just getting a few things ready, getting a few rods. Got the ice pack on the ribs, getting things prepped up, making sure we're in the best possible shape we can be for start of practice tomorrow. All right, we made it on the water, done a lot of scanning around, trying to take it easy. Back ribs still a little sore. Have shook a few fish off, have caught a couple fish. Not so bad throwing a spinning rod of the jig rod and kind of reeling into them so far. But a little tender. The hardest thing is like bending over and getting my rods and like doing tackle and getting it out of the console. But all in all, we're making do. Then we're gonna keep poking around and see if we can find. I caught one better than average fish and a couple dinks so far, so maybe got one spot we can try in the tournament, but we're gonna keep plugging away. They seem to be eating the bait good. Seem to find a little bigger ones. Hunting and pecking, scanning around, looking at weed lines, looking for good coontail, little irregularities, hard bottoms, inside turns, things like that. Walleye. He is lucky I forgot my fillet knife at home. Just caught a little bass, caught a rock bass, and no walleye on the DT6, so. Oh. A little bit better one, jigworm. One thing you can notice here pretty quick is that the entire practice I'm using a front butt seat, which I almost never do, and you can just see that like I'm pretty ginger and stiff throughout most of these fish catches during this video. Caught a bunch of tiny fish on crankbaits, but seems like the jigworm is just getting slightly better bite so far. Still not quite the size we need, but this one's in a little slot in the grass that I saw on the 360. So this is what I'm talking about. You can see this nice slot in the grass that was super obvious on 360, and that's right where those last couple fish were sitting. Other thing to note here is that you'll see this first day I'm really easing into things, pretty much throwing a jigworm, spinning rod, tried cranking a little bit and a few other things on day one, but really wanted to ease into it, not be setting the hook or swinging too much. So between driving around a lot and fishing a jigworm, things was definitely a slower pace of practice on day one than I'm used to. Kind of an old big head, but he's not very fat. Jigworming, weed point, bopping along, fish a few spots, don't get bit, find a spot, it's got a few decent fish on it. Zoom What is this, a fat magnum finesse worm? Pumpkin seed? Little 1/8 ounce agitator head from Bass Tech. Alright. 1 o'clock update, first day of practice. Picked up Drew. Because I need somebody to help me find some fish bigger than 2 pounds. So hopefully you're up to the task, Drew.
I'll try.
Track record in my boat is absolutely stellar. So we have no reason to believe that we won't catch a bunch of them and big ones this afternoon. Well, that was unexpected. That one's pushing high 3s. 3.5, 3 3/4. Throwing a frog way up shallow. See? Drew is good luck. Special? Oh yeah, grass. Doesn't even know he's got a bass.
I don't know. See?
So this is what a bass actually feels like.
Sure.
Huh?
Sure.
Sure. You sure?
Oh.
Not terrible, not great. Percent sure. We did it!
Let's go.
They're up,
Fish.
those ones are up shallow. I mean, obviously they're not very big, but.
Feels better. Shake like
Chunker? Tell the kids at home how you're catching them.
No, we're just taking a little jig worm and absolutely ripping it through the weeds. It's a little guy, but there's some fish around here, so.
There we go.
Choked it again.
Oh, I don't know, I just got bit off or broke off. That's a good one.
Look at that.
Didn't hit it that hard, it just felt like a little. There's a good one. These have been hard to come by today, but it's been a while since we had a bite, but decent looking fish. Day one is a wrap. 6:43, that's probably a solid 13-hour day on the water. Well, half of that for Drew, but 13 for me. Time to go rest up, get ready for tomorrow. Had some lulls, but we also had a few brief moments where we saw some decent fish. Caught them drop shot, jig worm, and even got some bites flipping. A few pieces to work on. Let's see if we can keep putting it together for the next 2 days. In today's adventures of the tortoise and the hare, Pete Hare is joining me for day 2 of practice. What's up, Pete?
How's it going?
Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Looks like a topwater kind of morning. Expecting big things?
I'm really hoping for it.
A little fog? Looks like we're getting a little more sun today. Come along for the ride of day 2 of 3 practice. Up on the old Willie P, a little whopper plopper.
I don't think he's very big.
Not really, he just sounded big.
Yeah.
Not bad. Toozer. Walk us through how awesome it is to be Pete Hare.
Whopper plopper magic.
Would you like me to hand you a pliers while I'm
That'd be great.
blocking you with a GoPro?
He wasn't coming off.
Tell us about the one you lost like 5 casts ago.
It was much bigger explosion than this one.
And it ripped drag.
It ripped drag immediately.
percent chance you'll be throwing a whopper plopper in the tournament?
100. Maybe all day. Oh, you did have the Vixen back on, huh?
Yeah.
That's a little fatter.
Maybe a cull so far this morning. Little Willie P fish. Oh, there's one. Oh, I was like, holy shit! It's a carp. Like it was a carp swimming by. I was like,
Oh, yeah,
what is it?
Oh, he didn't have that for a while, huh? I would have called you.
Decent jigworm fish. Back to back jigwormo fish. Like on cue, I like turned. That's a bass. Flipper. Flipper. Getting a few bites, flipping some deep grass. Not what we're looking for, but BFE, tilapia magic. All right, lunchtime, day 2. Pete's gonna head home. I don't know, something about work or something, but what'd you think of the morning? What's the recap?
Pretty productive topwater morning.
Is this true? Ploppers, walking baits, chuggers, they didn't seem to care.
Didn't seem to care. No, it's even when the sun got up, it was nice to be able to catch them.
Yeah, got a couple flipping, a couple jigworm, a couple new areas, but nothing crazy. But I think we're gonna maybe tackle a new section of the lake while we wait for Michael to show up. And Pete's gonna go home. Bye, Pete.
Bye.
We'll see you Wednesday.
Yep, see you Wednesday.
Out here fishing for smallmouth, and all we're catching is largemouth so far. Michael didn't get here in time, so George joined in the afternoon session of practice, and we're looking for Lake Carlo smallmouth, but we haven't found any yet. But we're gonna keep hunting.
Where's George?
No, that is not a good one. Oh, you said it was a good one.
He said no.
Oh, that's beautiful colors, though. I mean, just look at that. Beautiful. Show the people the beautiful colors of that, George. I mean, that's just a gorgeous, like 6, 7 inch largemouth.
Those guys in the water. Hey, wait a minute, Mark. You have a big one? Yeah, we're gonna do a big one.
Want me to grab them?
Okay. No, hold on. Yes, sir. What boat number, guys? 41.
Got a decent smallmouth.
Okay, ready?
Do the swim bait.
Right. 345.
Probably not quite 3 pounds, but long, lean.
Right here.
You got a practice report, Kevin?
Good luck today, Rich.
I want a practice report. Tell the people. They need more Kevin in their
Weed
lives.
lines, lots of weed lines, and then find sneaky stuff.
Sneaky stuff.
You on that sneaky stuff?
Not yet.
No.
Today's sneaky day.
Sneaky day? Yeah, go get them, boss.
You too. Sorry we didn't talk much yesterday afternoon, but George and I were gassed. Put her on the rack, and now day 3, final day of practice. We have a familiar face joining us for practice today, so stay tuned for that in just a moment while we back the Slamus in the water. Love that sound every time. Michael was a little one. That's another top water bite. Michael's got to recalibrate. Yep. So what we're doing today is there's been a decent little topwater bite. So this morning, covering water here with Michael, just trying to see if we can identify where there's some bigger fish, maybe some concentrations of fish, just like putting the trolling motor on 6, 7 and just going down the weed lines with ploppers and lock-in baits, trying to see if we can find a couple decent bites. So that's the plan for this morning anyways. Hooked up on the plopper. Made a huge splash, but he's not huge. Oh, it must have been a little one like that the last one he lost.
Sure. It'll make me feel better, I guess.
All right, we're still fishing along, covering water, getting some bites, but keep catching these. Still looking for some good bites today. Like we've eliminated more water than we found. All right, first decent bite of the day for me, flipping. I don't know, 2.5, maybe 2, 3 1/4. Take these. Practice officially a wrap. I think we caught fish all 3 days from literally like 1 foot of water out to 20 feet of water, top water to bottom bouncing, finesse to power fishing. I don't know, there's a lot of fish in this lake. You just got to figure out how to catch the right ones. You looking forward to the tournament, Michael?
I am.
Nice. So tomorrow, off day, meetings, we get prep, we'll get the rods, our tackle, everything ready, and we'll have the tournament video coming up next. But if you want to see some wild, crazy Mississippi River practice, driving through some crazy stuff, check out the video on the screen right here.